Parent company from PSA has now purchased SGC. What does this mean for you? Welcome back to Sports Cards with Joe
and Doug.
And Doug, today we are down in the retail area as we've got some breaking news to share. It was announced today, I'm reading from Sports Collectors Daily, Collectors Holdings, parent company of PSA, will acquire competitor SGC. Collector CEO Nat Turner confirmed the move to Sports Collectors Daily on Thursday morning. This, of course, is going to bring together two of the four biggest grading companies in the world together under one ownership. So, initial thoughts. First of all, yes, it's actually happening. It's being reported all over. Sports Illustrated reported it. Darren Ravel of the Action Network has reported it. It's all over. So, the big thing is, yes, it's real. Yes, it's really happening. But what was your initial reaction when you heard this morning?
My initial reaction was, wow, that's a big company acquiring another company, and probably way above my pay grade to understand why they would do that.
Everything behind the scenes, yeah, that we don't know.
But first take on it was that it probably won't impact our day-to-day business with PSA and with SGC, that they will continue to be run independently.
Right, yeah. Another quote, Peter Seinberg, of course, the president of SGC, said, quote, SGC will remain an independent grading brand, which is what we've already been getting asked today. Because my first, I know a lot of collectors thought, what's going to happen, or is my SGC cards going to go away? Will I still be able to grade in an SGC holder? But, you know, I look at it as, my initial reaction was like, this could be a huge positive move. If you're sitting on a bunch of SGC slabs, if you've been grading SGC with us, the value of yours may have just moved up significantly, because the one thing I've always said about SGC is they're a great company, great customer service. The one thing they don't have going for them that PSA does is the marketing power. You know, PSA collectors have that global reach, brand name, and now all of a sudden SGC is going to have that same marketing team behind them.
I agree. I like both of the companies. They each have their pros and cons, and I feel strongly that PSA and their quality of grading and SGC's quality of grading are going to remain the same. They're both unique. We don't really compare SGC and PSAs. Right. They're kind of like apples and oranges, even though they're both certified, authenticated. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing, like you said, with the amount of dollars that they can help with the marketing. I think that'll help SGC a great deal.
Well, I look at it as they can take the best from each other, learn from each other. There's things that they can apply, you know, whether it's customer service side or whatever it might be, innovations that they can develop together. I do have another quote from CEO Nat Turner from PSA. He said, quote, our portfolio focuses on service providers that bring expertise, quality, and value to hobbyists, and SGC has built a strong reputation on these three fronts. We recognize that every collector has their own preferred authentication and grading provider, and we look forward to providing expertise that will continue to enhance SGC's customer offering. Now, Doug, of course, you're head of grading here, and you process thousands and thousands of cards every single month, and I know when we looked at our numbers from last year, SGC was about 10% of our overall volume, you know, relative to PSA. Or have you been seeing the same thing the last couple of months? Have you seen any growth in SGC, or has it been stayed around that same mark?
I think it's about the same, Joe, honestly. I do see a lot of SGCs, but we definitely see a lot more PSAs. I think PSA is still the choice of the collector and the investor And SGC is a great alternative, but perhaps not quite held in quite as high a regard as the PSAs. I think they're both outstanding companies. I don't have any problem sending cards to either of those companies.
Nor do I.
But we definitely, we handle SGC just as strongly as we handle PSA. And that's kind of the point is having us handle your cards, screening your cards, or just processing your cards is the most important part of, I think, the whole grading equation.
Right.
You have a helping hand to help you make sure that you're grading cards that don't have issues with them, and that we can care for them, make sure they're spotless when they go off, and get the best grade as possible.
Right. And I know from my look at our data, last time I researched this, we were averaging around 85–90% of our submissions that come in, especially from repeat submitters who have tried out the screening and understand the benefits. Are you still seeing that? Especially like our stuff's coming in the mail. I know from our retail store, almost everybody requests it. So
it's kind of different because you'll get 200 cards from someone that wants screening, and you'll get 10 cards from someone that doesn't want screening. So you've got a 1-to-1 ratio there, but if you go by quantity of cards, I'd say it's close to the 75–80% range that we screen for our customers.
Right.
But it's your choice. You can do it either way.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it. I like helping, and we love getting them in, whether they're for screening or not. But definitely about 75–80% of our customers ask us to take a look at their cards for them.
Yeah, we recently had, not long ago, we had one submission of it was about 7,000.
Oh yeah.
And so that one took a couple days, to say the least.
Just a couple. Couple of days, couple of people.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. If you want to send us one card, you get the same service whether you send us one card or 1,000. And so we do believe we have the best screening service in the industry. We've been doing it. We've been working with SGC and PSA dating back to 1998. We again submitted over 100,000 cards last year, and that meant we literally handled probably close to 175,000 that came through the door because there were so many that got rejected for various reasons. Which, you think about that, if we kick back 75,000 cards, that's how much money we saved submitters.
Saved a lot of money. Absolutely, the math on that is pretty crazy.
Yeah. So looking back at the report. Again, back to this issue with this breaking news, it said, according to Gem Rate, just last week, PSA graded about 291,000 cards, while SGC graded around 32,000. So again, their SGC is tracking at about, 11–12% of the volume that PSA is. But here's the other thing. This is kind of the elephant in the room. We've talked about it, but Collectors is a major player in this industry. They bought Golden Auctions last year. They major player. So when you're the industry leader and you see a competitor, because SGC has come from further down, and they've moved up dramatically, both in the appreciation by collectors, both in respect from collectors and investors. I mean, the top 2 cards ever sold in the history of the hobby are both SGC cards now, and the Mantle and the Wagner. So the thing is, when you see a competitor starting to make some inroads, one thing you can do is you buy your competition. So
definitely.
And so whether that be part of the reasoning, whether they wanted to make a move to keep someone else from buying them. I mean, there's only a handful of major, when you're talking about major, like the multi-million-dollar companies worth hundreds of millions, there's only a handful of those in the industry. And so PSA has been the industry leader for quite a while. And so with the way SGC has been improving and gaining respect in the industry, who knows if this might have been a proactive move to say, we don't want someone else who could pour hundreds of millions behind them to buy them. But again, I truly believe we've talked. SGC has a phenomenal customer service team. There's plenty others in our industry who could learn from them, and so they do such a phenomenal job with turnaround, with communication. unbelievable customer service.
Definitely.
And so the thing is, I think they have a lot to bring to the table. And with PSA buying them now, or parent company PSA buying them, I think you're going to see probably growth in both companies, improvements in both companies, because what they can offer to each other. So,
well, another indicator, talking about PSA, their holding company buying another grading company, to me, that a lot of people in the industry, a lot of hobbyists are talking about, well, the industry's going down a little bit. It's not quite as big as it used to be. This, to me, is a pretty strong indication that PSA and their holding company, who have a lot of very well-paid financial advisors, are investing into the hobby.
oh yeah.
And another grading company at that. So to me, it's almost like, okay, that's good. They know, they can see, they have forecasters, and they must know that we're going to hang in there. We're going to kick it up another notch, maybe.
They see the handwriting on the wall of the projected growth and the need. I mean, we see it. I mean, I always feel like I need to come on and apologize every time I video. Like, sorry we haven't been on here, but the volume we're currently processing is insane. I mean, the thousands of submissions that come through our doors, both literally walking in our door and in mail submissions and UPS and FedEx and Pony Express, you name it. There's submissions coming in our door every day. And of course, we now work with Cards HQ, our friends over, Jeff Wilson and his team over in Atlanta. They take submissions for us over at their retail store, and we work with many other shops across the country. So, there are many retailers work with us for their submissions, which we greatly appreciate each one of you. But the volume of cards, and it's not neat. I mean, it's
Joe, I thought it was because I was doing such a good job.
Exactly. You were doing such a great job.
Yeah, that's why it's getting bigger.
And so, but yeah, our volume, and we are thankful to every one of you watching who submit with us. And if you've never tried our services, we've now made it easier than ever. You can go on our website, GotBaseballCards.com, and literally we have a 60-second form. You can fill out your information and the number of cards you're sending, and in 60 seconds, you can have that filled out, and then you can ship them off to us. And we check them in. Our turnaround time is incredible. They're typically in and out the door within 48 hours or so, and so when they're off to the grading companies. So we've been doing it, I think, longer than any bulk submitter in the industry, and we believe we do it the best also.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of submissions come in, that's for sure. But each one, and I'm telling you, even today, I got in submissions, and I had one from North Dakota. I just love picturing the United States and knowing that every single state in the country sends cards to Atlanta, to Loganville, for us to help them with their cards. Because it is definitely a team effort. It's not just me. I'm joking when I say that. It takes both of us, you and us, working together to get the best results. And that's why we have such good results. We have the best customers, and we have the best team.
yeah, and we literally just, and way more than us, far more than us. But we had just today we had collectors drive in from 5 hours away, 2.5 hours away, bringing their collections for us to look at. So, of course, not only do we offer the grading, we offer the consignments on the back end. So, lots of ways we try to help you and be there to serve collectors throughout the
Get the most out of your collection.
Yes.
Get the most out of it.
Yeah.
That's what we try to help with.
Yeah.
We don't want to waste your money. We want you to get the most money.
And speaking of helping people with their collection, I'm going to go ahead and put in a tease for our coming up next week. We're going to be showing off an insane SGC collection of Hall of Famers from the 1920s that we recently went through. It was on national news, and we took in over 1,100 1920s strip cards, including 20 Babe Ruths, 15 Ty Cobbs, and more. And our first batch will be coming back from SGC. So we can't wait to show those off. So you don't want to miss that video. So make sure and follow us on social media. Just search for Got Baseball Cards, and you'll find us everywhere. Website, GotBaseballCards.com. And if you are in the Metro Atlanta area, come on out and see us in person, and we'll be happy to help you with your collection as well. So big news for the hobby. I'm sure there's more to come any day. So thanks for hanging out, Doug. I got to get you back to work.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Signing off for Joe
and Doug.